In an ideal world, only qualified candidates would apply for your position. But as you've probably experienced, this is rarely, if ever, the case. So how do you evaluate a resume while giving each candidate a fair and thorough assessment? You think it's easy? Absolutely, especially if you've identified what you're looking for at the beginning of the process. However, there are some common mistakes that can cause you to miss out on excellent candidates. In this module, we will look at how to properly review a resume and the pitfalls to avoid. Here are my pro tips to review a resume the right way. First of all, the question that you should be asking yourself during the resume review is not, would I hire this person? But rather, is this candidate interesting enough to meet in an interview? And it's a whole different mindset that will allow you to be more open to different profiles. Don't make the mistake of comparing candidates against each other. Instead, compare your candidates against your criteria. You may receive resumes piecemeal, especially in a labor shortage situation, so you need to position yourself on a candidate without having a comparable. Be open to different types of profiles. There are more and more people who are changing careers, whose experience is not maybe linear. They're called atypical profiles. Try to identify the so-called transferable skills. Remember, it's that set of skills and abilities that go beyond a job and can be used in other types of projects or activity. In other words, don't look for a copy and paste of your job description in the resume. It's also important to look beyond our first impressions. We sometimes have a certain preconceived notion about certain types of experience or statements on a resume. Have you ever evaluated a resume of a candidate who has changed jobs several times or whose last job wasn't very long and thought to yourself, this candidate isn't stable? But in reality, there are many valid reasons for these changes. It would be better to have an initial conversation with the candidate to understand their employment history. And last but not least, we all have unconscious biases that play into what we see on a resume in front of us. A candidate's name, their hometown, or even where they previously have worked could influence your opinion more than you think. In short, unconscious bias influences your decision, whether positively or negatively. Be sure to view our next video, which explains the main unconscious biases we have when we're evaluating candidates, whether it's at the resume review stage or even during interviews.